Hello everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Adventures in Metaphysics. So today we have a really nice, stormy, rainy day. It's around late afternoon now. So I kind of just wanted to, I guess, update you all, or I've talked about it a little bit, but we're just kind of show you what's kind of been going on with my practice in terms of how I've kind of been working with fairies and fae energy. It's something that I've really been loving and is bringing me a lot of joy recently, and I've just felt really, really connected to that energy. And I feel like I've kind of hammered out something that really has been working for me. Yeah, I've just been really liking. So I kind of just wanted to share it because I typically will sort of do this little routine of sorts towards like dusk or nighttime, but when it's raining and storming like this, I kind of feel like that energy is around now as well. So I kind of wanted to just pull my cards now, and I thought I would bring you along with me and sort of show you this little setup I have here. I've got this little fairy nature altar going now that I just really like. So yeah, I think I'll start there. I'm gonna start by showing a little pan over of what I have going on here, and then, I don't know, I'll just continue to babble as I do. Alrighty, so, little fairy altar tour we're gonna do. Hopefully I'm not shaking the camera too much, but we'll start from left to right. So over here, this is where I keep my pendulum. And this is a new pendulum board I have that was made by Busy from Busy Bee Coven. Her stuff is wonderful, and I'm really excited. I've never tried using a pendulum board, so I'm excited to test that out. But this is where my pendulum lives. It's a smoky quartz, just kind of wire wrapped by a woman who owns a crystal shop near me. So I keep it in this little metal jewelry box type thing. And this is my little stick incense holder that is very dirty. I love this thing. It looks like a little like spooky cauldron bathtub type thing. And this is a fairy spray I made. I think I'll explain it more when I am back facing the camera, but I've really been enjoying this, and it was my first spray I made myself, and I've just really been liking it. Then we just have some crystals. We've got our big smoky quartz, my pine cones that I found outside. I love moss agate. This is, I mean, it's moss agate, but they call it tree agate. This one is, it starts with an E. I can't quite remember the name, but isn't that so pretty, that green? This is a rock with a bunch of mica in it that I found on a hike around here. I just think it's so pretty. We have our little Kambaba jasper point. This bowl here is like a little fairy offering bowl I made. So it's got these little like oak leaves. I thought was cute. We've got a little thing of honey here. Woo! She went for a ride. Sorry, fairy. All right. Oh, what's that crystal? This is, oh my gosh, let me not get my hands all in this video. This is a rock I found in Rhode Island. If I get it wet, it turns like this bright green, like snake skin kind of color. It's really cool. Amethyst, moss agate, and oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of this one. Oh. What are you called? I can't remember. I'm blanking on the name of that, but it's one that I heard fairies might be a fan of. I really like that one too. I just can't quite remember the name. Anyway, so that bowl stays over here on this little 2-tier pedestal thing I got. Actually, I found this at the thrift store just this week too, and I've really been loving it. And so I have this little little fairy here who came in a fairy garden set, but I just decided she's gonna stay inside for now. We've got a little piece of malachite. This is my skunk skull. I feel very connected to skunks and skunk energy. So behind I also have this little skunk token that I really like. I don't think it says anything. Oh yeah, be assertive, honor, and keep your boundaries. I just think that's such a cool little token. And this is my moss agate fairy, which I love. And these little tags, someone gave me in a package for it was a deck I traded for, but they put in these little fairy tags, and oh, it was just so perfect. So those have been staying here too. And this is my little Ellen of the Ways. It's made by Magic Deary on Etsy, and it's her pocket, oh my gosh, not pocket dearies, pocket deities. So I really love this. It's so neat. So she lives here too. And this is my little candle I use to kind of invite in their energy. So much to say. This is a little Merlinite sphere I have, which I think is so, I love this stone too. I just think it's so neat. I tend to use this here too as a little card stand for my oracle card to go, my fairy card. This is a piece of bark I found outside, I think 2 days ago now, and I brought it in because I just thought it was like a cute little like bowl shape, and it had already fallen off a tree. So anyhow, we've got a bunch of crystals in here. This is garden quartz, which I just think is so cool. It traps like organic material in quartz. I still haven't taken the price sticker off clearly, but anyhow. Back here, this is a little painting that Sandy made for me from Exploring Tarot. I always keep that here just because it's just so beautiful and special. And this is a card by Wendy Andrew. This is her like Ellen of the Ways painting, and I got it in the package from the pillow cover I got. She sent this as well, and it was just so perfect. And then I have some lavender here. Oh, here, this is my magician painting. Isn't this just the best? Oh, I love that painting. Then we've got a selenite sphere with angelite and a little crow token. This neat bird statue that I also found at the thrift store for $1. I mean, how can I not get it? I'm not quite sure what bird it is yet. It might be like an oriole, but I'm not certain. Got another pine cone. This is my little vintage key. I found it at an antique store that's next to the library I work at. Got a shell I found. Two shells I found. This is a little labradorite. Look at how pretty. Isn't that a good one? Oh, I love that. Another candle holder. Lapis lazuli, and a little dried piece of honeycomb that I found outside the library last year. So I think, oh, I almost forgot. Up here on the wall, I'm drawing some red clover, but I have this little 4-leaf clover Sandy made, and she also made this little protection sigil ornament, which is really, really neat. And I've also got my little holly decoration, which I love. And I also have this shelf which holds lots of things. We have a bird painting my sister did of a blue bird that I love, and these are just some, cards that came as extra. But these are the decks that I use for my fairy practice. Like, these are like the ones. So we've got the Brian Froud Fairy Oracle, and this is the Hush Tarot, which we will talk more about in a second when I pull my cards. So I think that is all I have to show you. I'll step back and show the whole wall, but that's what we have going on here, and I've just been really enjoying it. So without further ado, let's get to the cards. All right, so as you saw, it's I have the altar kind of on top of this little like cabinet of sorts. It's kind of meant to be in a kitchen, I think, but it works in here. So in the top drawer, I keep just a bunch of random things, but it's where I keep my candle lighter. So the first thing I like to do is I have this green candle that I just kind of like to light as sort of like an opening thing, to kind of invite that energy in. So I like to start off with that, and that sits right over here. And I also made my own fairy spray in this little bottle here. So this has, oh gosh, it was a witch hazel base, and I used lavender oil. It was lavender and peppermint oil, but then I also had crystal chips in here. I did moss agate, and it was something else. Peridot. It was peridot and moss agate, which I really just like the noise it makes. And I just marked it with this washi tape I had that's got some like acorns and leaves and such. So yeah, that was really a lot of fun to make. Sometimes I will also light incense if I'm going to be sitting here for a bit longer, but I'm not sure I'm going to be today, so we're not going to light that. And I also just don't want smoke flying in my face while I'm trying to talk. So we're just gonna, I usually do 3 sprays of this. There we go. Okay. So the decks I have really been using, and I feel like has totally kind of shaped this practice, is the Brian Froud Faeries Oracle, and I've been pairing the Hush Tarot with it, which has just been working so beautifully together. I think because I definitely find this to be a fairy deck, but it's a bit more shadowy, which I think kind of works well with what I'm trying to do here in terms of like a personal growth practice, as well as kind of how I view it, because this oracle is so wonderful, but the messages really can call you out on some stuff. So I just find that it tends to lean in that direction. So I always start out with my Fairies Oracle. So let's see who our fairy guide is of the day. Oh, I've not gotten this one before. We got the Singer of Initiation. So before I go through and pull my tarot cards, so this works a bit differently than my daily pulls. My daily pulls, I will pull every card I'm going to pull before I start really thinking on it, and that seems to work for me, because the question I ask for my daily pull is just kind of like, what do I need to know today? But this one tends to be a bit more guided, which really lends well to this oracle here. It does that really well. So let's see what the Singer of Initiation is all about. There is so much information in this book. It's such a good oracle. I really couldn't recommend enough, especially if you're interested in fairies and that fae energy, which is so much fun this time of year too. So if you don't have this one, I definitely recommend looking into it. The art style is different. I think that's what put me off for a long time, but it really just grows on you, and it's so different in person. So the keywords for this are passage through trial, triumph, new level. The Singer of Initiation brings a major transition between old and new. As we prepare to pass through any gate, we are greeted by this singer, who tests us to see if we are ready to enter into the new realm, or whether, for our own safety and well-being, we must stay where we are. There is no initiation without testing, and this testing must take us to our limits in order to be valid. Initiation is not just a charming ritual with candles and incense and other occult paraphernalia. True initiation is grounded in material reality, and it extends through body, mind, and emotions. The testing occurs on all levels of our being. The more profound the change being processed, the more rigorous the test. However, these initiations are only given when the singer knows we have the potential, the ability, and the opportunity to pass them. If we pass the initiation this singer offers, we are strengthened by the process itself. In working through it, we learn something about ourselves, and we move finally and irrevocably from one way of being to another. Wow. That's an interesting one. I like how it also gives you a starter reading. So if that up here gets a little confusing, it breaks it down a little bit more simply. So This card is all about breakthrough. Drawing this card notifies us that significant change and challenge are both occurring in our lives, with the potential for moving into a new realm which involves a new way of being. So, based on that already, I think the question to kind of ask myself today is kind of how, I'm trying to think, either how am I being challenged, or what new way of being are the challenges currently going on? Like, what are they pushing me towards? I think that's what we're going to ask. So that's where the Hush Tarot comes in. So while I'm shuffling, I'm going to ask myself, how are the challenges, or what new way of being am I being pushed towards with the challenges I'm facing right now? Whoop. These cards kind of fly everywhere. I don't tend to read jumper cards all the time just because I drop them so often. I feel like I say that every time I'm shuffling cards in videos, but it's true. Okay, 4 felt right today, I guess. So we got the Ace of Pentacles, King of Swords, the Hermit, and the World. Oh, interesting. First of all, I just have to show how beautiful these cards are. I'm sure everyone has seen this deck at this point, but like, oh, they're just so pretty. So here we have our Ace of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Hermit, and look at that World card. I haven't gotten this one yet from that deck. Oh, it's so pretty. I love all the birds happening in this deck. So, okay. So thinking of these cards, do you see I just launched? I'm bad and I don't clean up the sticks from my incense, and I just launched them all across the room. That is okay. So that is an interesting pull. So I feel like if we're thinking of it in terms of like what new way of being am I kind of being pushed towards, you could think of that as I'm seeing it as sort of the being pushed towards more introspection and a feeling of wholeness, so I can kind of close a certain chapter and lead myself towards a new opportunity that I think is going to be really wrapped up in clear thinking and judgment. Because I think when any of us are feeling challenges, it's inevitable that we're going to get wrapped up in the emotions of it, and you need to feel those feelings and sort through those things. But I think when you're coming out of it and moving forward in some way, having learned those lessons, that King of Swords is going to be really important to kind of take control back over those emotions and think more clearly about the situation and how you want to move forward. So that's how I'm looking at that card, is sort of that's what I'm being asked to do. This, along with the Hermit, is what I'm seeing that from, is kind of a period of introspection and kind of taking my time with thinking about how maybe I want to move forward, and the result of that is going to be new opportunity, wholly thought out. That's how I'm kind of seeing that. So if I take the time to just get more in my head and think clearly and introspect on perhaps maybe the lessons I've learned, what what kind of things should stay, what should go. If I take the time to do that, the newness I can move on to is going to be like just more well thought out and really kind of be a situation where I can close one door and open another without having to leave them cracked open a little, you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought this I hope this exemplified sort of how I have been working with fairy energy recently and kind of what I've meant when I brought that up. As you can see, it really goes deep, and it really pulls at you and pulls things out of you, and so it's been a really cool conjunction of just sort of magic and nature and self-work and growth that I've just really been enjoying. It's just been something I look forward to every day, working with my little fairies. So anyhow, I hope that was enjoyable to watch and see, and have a wonderful rest of your day.